Sean McLear, Assistant Chief, retired, Barrington Fire Department, 520 Shorley Drive. I've spent over 30 years in service of the Village of Barrington and the Barrington Countryside Fire Protection District. My everyday focus has always been on doing what's right. It's a common theme among firefighters and paramedics, as the job attracts persons with a fierce intent to do the best they can and to do so with brutal honesty. There are no political games in our world, as that could cost a life. And there is nothing that infuriates us more than politics when it potentially affects the safety of our community. What transpired at the June 10th board meeting exemplifies what's wrong with our community today. You made a, quote, public safety presentation in which you presented inaccurate and misleading information under the authority of the board. Your presentation was not about public safety. It was about public safety employee pensions. There was not one slide about your plans for the future, about how many engines and ambulances you intend to staff, about how you intend to prepare for calls on both sides of the railroad tracks, nor any analysis of the financial impact of the split with the district. The entire presentation was a skewed, inaccurate presentation on firefighter benefits. This is not a political campaign or a union negotiation where we've come to expect false promises and misinformation as the norm. This is about local government making decisions on our behalf. And you were elected to do that, to give us you were supposed to be making decisions using honest, informed, conscientious choices. Firefighter benefits are there for a reason. It's what allows us to entice honest, intelligent people to perform an extremely dangerous job that statistically shortens their lifespan, and to do so for much less pay than they would be able to earn in other jobs in the private sector. It's what allows a dad or a mom to lay their life on the line for someone else. At least they know their family will be provided for. It's what allowed 343 firefighters to start climbing those stairs in the World Trade Center. Although you provided no information on how you intend to protect your own jurisdiction, on one slide you had the audacity to express your opinion on what the fire district needs to adequately cover its jurisdiction by stating that the call volume wasn't high enough at the outlying stations and that the two recent fires, plenty of other towns came to help. Your opinion flies in the face of two independent consultant studies, ISO, the NFPA, and the level of service provided to the citizens of surrounding communities by their fire departments. As for all the help from the neighboring towns, it's called mutual aid and automatic aid, and it's based on reciprocity. Towns don't get to just decide to shut down their fire department and have everyone show up anyway. Public safety is not about playing the odds on call volume. It's about being sufficiently prepared to meet the needs of the first foreseeable emergency that occurs, and then begin to immediately start replacing your assets to be able to handle the next one. What is critical is the equipment and personnel that are on a scene of a structure fire in 8 minutes or an ambulance call in 4 minutes. The benchmark for a structure fire is 13 firefighters. As it stands today, even with the combined department, we have to rely on automatic aid just to meet that number. Have you analyzed the cost of paying for 100% of administrative staff, dispatching services, and training costs instead of the current 50%? And the cost of paying 100% of the pension funding instead of the current 36%? How much have you budgeted for a second station on the other side of the tracks, and when is construction going to begin, because we're running out of time? Have you ordered the new truck? Without a ladder truck, our ISO rating is going to go through the roof. You are currently paying for 12 of 36 line staff, and that's only enough to provide 3 people a day. How many additional firefighters are you planning on retaining at 100% of the cost instead of 33% of the cost? Is it your intention to keep all 36 firefighters for the village alone so that we can maintain our ISO rating? And if so, I'm at a loss on how this is going to help pension funding. But most irresponsible was your portrayal of this split as win-win. Make no mistake, this is a lose-lose proposition that will have long-term catastrophic effects on both jurisdictions at wildly increased cost to the taxpayers of both. The fire district made it very clear at their meeting last Monday night that there have been no discussions regarding, nor is there any intent to provide, quote, robust, synergistic, cooperative, automatic aid to the village. You picked this fight by using the intergovernmental agreement to block the district's ability to provide adequate coverage for their jurisdiction. You refused to allow them to even replace their own tender at no cost whatsoever to the village. You then refused their request for more manpower, even though they offered to pay 100% of all salary, benefits, and your newly termed legacy costs. All this because President Tarch doesn't like firefighters and their pensions, and all this over a benefit that costs the village taxpayers less than $30 on an $8,000 tax bill. Please, if there are any statesmen among you, go back to the table with the district and work out a long-term agreement that will allow our fire department to continue to provide the high level of service we all deserve.